Awesome. That's what I like to hear. So I'm just going to do a few quick general announcements before we get going, and then we'll have the moderator come up and she'll introduce Jim. So first and foremost, if I could have you guys turn off all of your flashes on your flash cameras and phones and things like that. Just no flash photography, please. But take as many photos as you like. We love to see those up on Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Next, we have something going on called FlipON.TV right now. We're streaming live. As I'm speaking, they're recording it. If you look towards the back, we've got a camera going right now. Next, if we get a chance to do questions, we have a microphone here in the middle. We'd love to hear your questions, and that will let us hear you. Lastly, cell phones. If you could just put your cell phones on vibrate or mute, just so we don't have people answering during the panel going on. And if you do get a phone call, if you just mind taking it out there, it looks like we still have plenty of seating, so you probably won't have any problem getting back in. So I'm going to go let them know that we're ready for them, all right? All right, let's have a fun time.
Hi, guys. I'm Red. I don't know about this setup because I don't know where to sit. No one told me where to sit. I'm super stoked that you're here today. This is, I want to say that he's pretty much the Pope of character voices. I don't know if he'll like that analogy. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome for Jim Cummings.
This is great. Hey. Let's actually have a seat. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out to play. Is everybody happy? Yeah. Good answer.
All right, so I'm just going to ask Jim some questions, and then we'll open it up to you guys, okay? Because I'm sure you've got some better questions than the ones that I will have. And I'm sorry you can't see us over there, but hi, we're here.
Should we scoot? Here, want to scoot over another thing? Or we could just trash the stage and throw this over.
We could just kick it.
Here, well, let's do that. All right, here we go. Here, I'll scoot over. Here, you scoot. Here,
Okay,
scoot. I warmed it up.
Okay, thanks, baby.
Okay, good. Now let's see if this is gonna.
Toasty.
Oh, technology, our old friend. So talk in here, huh? I'm making noise. Hello. Hi. So anyway, where were we?
I am going to read a comment that I read on YouTube about you. Sonic the Hedgehog before going to school in the first grade. Darkwing Duck on my evenings before Animaniacs. While I did my homework to Cat Dog, to SWAT Cats, to Courage the Cowardly Dog, Billy and Mandy, all the way up to Skyrim. I am 24 now, and I feel like I just watched my life flash before my eyes. You are basically America's babysitter.
Yeah. Well, it's all my fault. Sorry.
How do you feel about that? I mean, you really have influenced so many lives and ruined some of them in the best way.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to say about that stuff. It's the stuff that used to get me kicked out of class. So, it's tough to think of it in that way. But it's flattering. Gosh, people say this and that, and I end up just thinking that I'm pretty much just a guy with a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I really like this job. I've done other things, and this one was so much better. And I've been doing it a long time now, and I realize, people come up to me that are like old and they're, they used to be like they were 7 or 8, and they'd say, I've liked you since I was a kid. And I'm thinking, well, you're 7, so that's been an hour and a half now? And now they're 40. I've liked you my whole life. And I go, oh, great, now I'm old. So, but it's cool, I'll take it. As long as you must never use your powers for evil. That's all I'm saying.
So how did it start?
Yeah.
Go back.
Oh.
Let's do like a little...
Well, I won my first swim meet. Oh, no, wait, that was
But like,
that
did
was a
you?
womb
Was
joke.
it? What was the first voice? Did you ever do voices as a kid that you would?
No. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Well, I really did. I developed my first odd little weird thing when I was like 4.5, and I discovered you could do this. Okay, you know you're gonna try this. Get some air, put it in your cheeks, but seal off like from your smile lines down so that you have air pockets. I'll talk about Shaft, but you know, and then you can adapt that to go. Then you're flipper, and then you can kind of do like, I'm not as good on my left. I'm right cheeked. And that was a little lower, so you could fake a pretty decent squirrel. And then if you go, then I have no idea what the hell that is. But it's annoying.
It's beatboxing, pretty much.
And if you're like 5 and in first grade, Sister Mary Agnes will say things like, "We don't have dolphins here at St. Columba." Maybe you should tell that to the principal. You know, and the problem is all the nuns, like when I was a little kid, they all taught my mom. And there was I was the one that Sister Mary Brendan, I remember her saying, "I can't believe it, you can't be Sally Welsh's by. The poor little girl growing up and giving birth to the Antichrist. Good, won't I be saying a novena for the likes of your mother?" I guess. What? So I'm failing then? Is that what? Yeah. So, but I remember, you know, back then, never thinking that I would ever meet him. But Paul Winchell had this show on. It's like one of my earliest memories. Paul Winchell and Jerry Mahoney. He was the original Tigger and Knucklehead Smith. He invented the first prototype of the artificial heart. It's a natural progression. And you know, I just remember seeing him sitting there and doing the thing with his puppets and Jerry Lewis. And I got to tell you, does anybody else get freaked out when they're a kid about ventriloquist dummies?
The worst.
It scared the crap out of me. I loved him. And then Jerry Lewis, Jerry Mahoney would do this one thing. Oh my God. And his head would keep going, and I went, "Ah!"
You know what movie it was? Do you remember Anthony Perkins in?
Oh yeah.
Remember, was that puppet movie?
Magic.
Oh, it wasn't magical. It was not
wasn't magic,
at all.
It was scarical. And I remember meeting Paul saying, "Man, I loved you, and you scared the crap out of me." You know, and I thought that Jerry Mahoney lived under the nightstand next to my bed. And whenever I couldn't sleep, I was pretty sure he was under the nightstand going, oh. You know, and then his eyes would look back at you, and oh, man. And Paul, God rest his soul, he goes, "You know, if I had a nickel for every kid who told me I did that to him," because he sounded like halfway Tigger just when he talked. This voice never gets any work, but all the other ones are doing okay. But Paul kind of sounded like that, and apparently he scared the heck out of so many kids, and I'm so happy to be one of them. But there was that. That was kind of like an influence, and then I remember my dad. Mel Blanc used to do some on-camera things on the Jack Benny show, and this is also like one of my earliest memories. And he was standing there, and he had this bit where he'd come on, and Jack would ask him questions, and he was dressed in a serape from Mexico and a sombrero, and he had a bit. "So how are you doing there?" He'd go, "What is your name?" And he'd go, "C." "Are you having or no, Cy?" And then he would say, "Are you having a good time?" "C." And then that was all he would say. And my dad goes, "You see this guy right here?" "Yeah." "That's Daffy Duck." "Who else? Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, what else? The Tasmanian, the Goons, whatever the hell. That's the guy who does it." And I thought, well, he's not getting kicked out of class. He's got a really good job. I want to be him when I grow up. And he did. So, see? Now I get to hang out with you guys. And, you know, negatively influence you. Thank you.
You also owned a video store back in the day.
I just worked.
Oh, you just worked there.
Yeah.
Just back in the back where the curtain was.
Yeah. No, it was great. You know, I used to sit around and I did that for about 2 years. And in fact, that's where I met Sal Romeo. It was always in the back of my head to do this when I was a kid. I always, honestly, since I was that young, we're doing I thought, man, this is great, and I wanted to do that. But I knew I was going to do something in the arts. It wouldn't have any time cards in it, or much to my parents' chagrin, college. Don't follow in my footsteps there either. But I always knew I'd end up doing something like this, and as a painter or a drummer or a singer, and I always wanted to be a drummer in a strip joint on Bourbon Street. Got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Sister Mary Agnes wasn't there either. And
Plenty of 14-year-old pregnant girls that are drinking hurricanes, though, which is
yes,
nice.
Yeah. But it was like my own little mini bucket list. And when I was working at the store, one of the guys working there was a sound engineer. So I said, well, geez, let's stick around. And I made up my first demo tape. Because like with face guys, you know, I guess you accumulate and I did a lot of stage and a lot of, I was a singer since I'm 13, you know, playing drums. And I was a professional because I got $10. That's how you know you're a professional. Somebody gives you $10. And so I was a drummer and a singer, and I always knew I wanted to do that. But I thought, wow, you know, it's about time to buckle down and do, because remember all those things, those crazy voices in our head? My head. Where were we? I'm sorry, what was I saying? Crap. Oh, hi. Anyway, so I made my first demo tape, and instead of like a portfolio of pictures of me, it was just a portfolio of, you know, sounds that I Touretted. And I made it all up. And I was a guy from India and a guy from Ireland, and they were sitting around watching TV, and I was them, and I was the TV commercials, and I gave it to this guy, Sal Romeo, who worked in the video store. He was a customer in the video store, and he was like my only link to anybody who knew anything in this. And see, I was so stupid that I didn't know it was impossible to break into. It's too late now. And so I made this demo tape, and I handed it to him, and he goes, well, so what? And I go, I don't know. You're officially in show business. So pass it around. And he did. And he gave it to a friend of his, Don Bluth, who we all know Don Bluth. Yep.
Secret of Nim.
Yeah, you know, and he had the magic unicorn, Secret of Nim, and all this stuff. And I go, wow, he's one of the big kids. And this is in '84. And amazingly, one of his people called me back, and he said, you know, yeah, I was listening to your tape here, and you don't suck, you know, but we're really not doing anything. He was making video games at the time. So he said, you know, I'll hold on to your tape, and if somebody's looking, I'll pass it along, which sounds like, I won't call you, and don't call me again either, okay? And but he actually did, and he gave it to a guy, Frank Brandt, and who was gearing up to do Dumbo's Circus, one of the very, very first Disney Channel shows. And he called me up and said, you want to come up here? And he said, because you don't suck. And I said, thanks. That's the second compliment I've gotten like that. And I got that job. And so I've been here ever since. I can't remember the question. Does that answer it, though?
Kind of. Whose voice have you stolen? Like, who were you, let's not say stolen, let's say inspired by, like somebody in your life that you were so inspired by their voice that you actually started copying it, and basically they could get you for creative whatever.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think somewhere along the lines in the late 80s, early 90s, people started suing people if they sounded too much.
Really?
I think
No.
Tom Waits had that, so I you know, it was like, somebody was doing Tom Waits as another man, and somebody said, wait a minute, that sounds like Tom Waits. Actually, it was Tom Waits who said, that sounds like me. And so they kind of, I don't think I've ever been busted that way, but.
No, I meant more like in the sense of like.
I haven't been sued yet.
So, no, and I don't want to give anyone any ideas. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to lead you to the Leatherhead story. The teenage.
Oh, wait, I have an idea. There's this story about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that from when. Thank you, nice segue. Mm-hmm. But she's good. Is Red good or what? I'm full of bumps of geese. But no, but when I moved to New Orleans as a kid, because I always wanted to go there, and I had, like I say, you have to go, if you're going to be a drummer in a strip joint on Bourbon Street, apparently you have to go to New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And I did always, because of Mark Twain's fault, I wanted to be a deckhand on a riverboat, so I got those things out of the way. And I showed up and I had all this hair, you know, and I had like a flute and a backpack, you know, and I got on this boat. It was the very last. Gosh, it was 72. It was the very last run of this little boat called the Old Dutch, and they don't even have boats like this on the river anymore. It looked really like what's the name of that tugboat? The little tugboat, Tuffy the tugboat. Anyway, it looked just like that. The cartoon from the Golden Books or whatever those were.
Yep.
Mike Mulligan's steam
With
shovel
the eyes?
or
It
something.
even had eyes on
the
it?
one, yeah, the one with the eyes. It looked just like that, and I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. And there was an old Cajun guy on there, and it was his. He was 75, so I guess I guess he was born in 1896 or 1897 or so, and it was his very, very last time on the river. My very, very first time on the river as a deckhand, and I walked on board, and he says, "Oh Lord, what I'm gonna do with this one?" And I said, "Hi, I'm Jim, and I'm gonna be your deckhand." Yeah, I know. I can't believe they sent me some little Yankee college ball for my last time. I said, man, I can't believe I'm here either, man, you know, and he told me, he said, I can't taught you nothing about these boats in these 10 days, but by the time you get off y'all, you're going to know how to make red bean and rice, yeah. And he was right. And I'll be making red beans and rice for everybody later. But you know, he was just one of those guys, and he was so, you know, you just don't hear people, you really don't hear people like that very often. And I used him years later when they were auditioning for Leatherhead, the Cajun alligator bad guy on the original late 80s, I guess, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it's, as you say, you know, I often wondered, because that's a pretty good impression of him. Not that you guys, you can't bust me anyway. I can tell you it's dead on. You ain't gonna know. But it really was, you know. And I often wondered, I wonder if his grandkids are going, hey, Grandpa, you want to come in here? Listen to this alligator. What do you think? Ringing any bells here? You know this dude? Because that was the guy, and you can understand what he was saying, but it don't matter. He's a bad guy, yeah. Anybody got a question? You better not. So that was it, yeah. You know, you just got to be a sponge, right? And steal from, and if you do a bad impression, it's a new voice. But that one was good, and it didn't matter. No one knew who he was.
Inspired by humanity. How about that? Yeah, that sounds nice. Let's go through some of the movies that you've been in that some people may not know. So I'm going to say the movie title, and then you do the voice. Okay? Aladdin.
Hi, I'm Aladdin. I was Jasmine. You guys knew that, though. No, yeah, I was one of the lead band. Well, I'm sorry, princess, but I take my orders directly from Jafar.
Jafar.
You will have to take it up with me. That guy's a fire. There's probably a couple other critters in there too, but Rasul was cool.
Shrek.
Oh yes, you guys are some flying goddamn donkey. Jesus, Horatio Christ, let's get him down. No, I can't remember the line, but I was the captain of the guards. Eddie Murphy flew over me and pooped. I can't. You know, what are you gonna do?
Jungle Book.
Who that?
Were you Kaa or in the Jungle Book?
Well, I'm the king of the swingers. Whoa, the jungle VIP. I'm reached the top and at the stop and that was bothering me. I wanna be a man come and stroke right into town. I'll be just like them other men. I'm tired of walking around singing. I want to be like you. I want to talk like you. I'm going to stop singing because I'll probably owe Disney a lot of money.
Great.
But anyway, yeah, I wasn't the original King Louis, but I've been him ever since. God rest his soul. But I was a trust in me.
That's the one.
Just in me.
then
You know, which is hard to consider, but it's freaky, man. But I was what else was I? In Jungle Book 2, I was DJ Monkey. Something. Anyway.
Princess and the Frog.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of my favorites because it had everything in it. It had New Orleans, my favorite city on earth, and food even. Hello. And my little girl Gracie, I mean, she was the exact same age, looked just like Princess Tiana when she was 4. And you couldn't have told her that she wasn't Princess Tiana because I was just stupefied, happy with it, you know. And all I can say is, look how she lights up the sky. Man, I won't tell y'all one thing right now. You come on down there, we pass a good time. I go cook you up some good boy, yeah. Don't make me nut my butt. That's that more. It's like because it's weird. A lot of like whenever I guess I'm designated Cajun now, and which is I'll take it. Because a lot of times, you know, people say, well, they're casting for a Cajun part, and well, hi, I'm a Cajun. I'm from down. No, you're not. Shut the hell up, Gomer. No, you ain't. Get your butt back to Alabama. You know, which we love Alabama, but it ain't, you know, Louisiana. So it's a weird little accent. So I accidentally was boning up for it all those years on the river.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
This is a personal favorite. I'm gonna nerd out right now. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, I was Chummy Gummy for one episode, and then when Paul kind of retired, God rest his soul now, I was Zummy too. You know, Zummy Gummy. So yeah, they all rhymed.
Love that.
Easier to remember. Yeah, that was an old one. I sang a song, Rough Tough Burly Sailors, for the Disney Afternoon, and it was so funny because last year. My little girl Lulu was she's 5.5 now, and she was 4.5. And I had no idea, and I think they were doing it on purpose. I don't even know if they were trying to surprise me. But that's the song that all these little weasels were up and say, go ahead, roughed up early sailors. So that was kind of fun. And I was going, what the hell, that's me, you know. And it was cool. It was the only song I ever sang they only let me do one take on. Pretty cool.
Jimmy Neutron. I love Jimmy Neutron. It's the best ever. I watch it all the time.
Ultra Lord. Yes, that's right. Leader of the galaxy. Stuff like that. Pull my finger.
I thought that was him.
Hey, did you ever, pardon my ignorance, did you ever do anything for the Muppets? And if not, why?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
But I don't know.
The politics
They
of
never asked.
character
You know,
voices.
well, they usually have the guys who are the puppeteers doing it.
Yeah, but the guy that does Fozzie doesn't sound like Fozzie anymore.
That's true.
And see, you took over for Tigger, and you're perfect. And I can't understand out of all the people in the world that they can't find somebody that really, because it bothers me now. Like Kermie's not.
Waka. Hey, well, I would be there if they called. But no, I don't know.
If you get that gig, I want the credit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're not, no comment. Fine, next question.
How many creative Emmys, creative enemies, Freudian, creative Emmys have you received?
I'm the Susan Lucci
Are you?
of animation.
I thought I was going to make it awkward because I was like, either he's got a whole.
40 or something. No, I don't know. No, none. But
Shut up.
One of my favorite things to do is be nominated for stuff and then bet on who's going to really win. And I don't even win that. I was betting on Jude Law this year for the Annies to win, and he did well. I mean, you know, I was nominated for the Annie. You guys know the Annies? Yeah. It's the Annie Made It Awards. See, it's a play on Annie Made It. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of like the Oscars for animation. And I get nominated all the time, and I get to present. So I get to dress up and run around, have a good time, and then somebody else takes my trophy.
That sucks because I honestly would think you would be the George Clooney of the creative Emmys to the point where, like, if you farted, you'd probably win.
I'm gonna.
Maybe try that.
Hold on.
You could do character farts.
She's good.
Hypothetically, and you actually touched on this a little bit earlier. Hypothetically speaking, you go senile. What character do you think your mind will switch to?
Oh, for me? Wow, jeez. Probably Pooh. I mean, he's got, he's a very, very little brain, or else, I don't know. I'll just go right down and I probably,
Well, then we'll dress you like him.
Mother, I'm so sorry. I don't think I can think of one. Hold on, don't tell me. I think I'm thinking of, I don't know. I have nothing.
Have you ever gotten out of trouble thanks to a character voice that you do, or a friend?
More into trouble. But no, actually, but I'll tell you this, my good buddy Roger Rose, we'll travel on, we'll do this and that. And man, I'll tell you, he is like the voice pimp of the world. Oh, fine, leave, sure, somebody has to potty. Oh, let's all stare. Is this something I didn't say? See ya. No, but he'll go up and we're just like, we're booked in, like cargo or something, go, if I could, do you have any kids? And whoever it'll be, well, yeah, I can hook you up with Winnie the Pooh. Tigger too, oh yeah. Taz, oh, well, he's here. Darkwing Duck, no problem. Why, I understand there's some empty spaces in first class. So that's just, but I would never do that in a million years. I don't have that gland. That's just too brassy for me. But it's a nice thought, though. And it worked like almost once. He got to go in first class, and then I had to sit in the back. So. No, I'm just kidding. But that's as close as it gets. And he's done that and I have a lady friend of mine who has done that a few times in restaurants. Well, would you make Winnie the Pooh wait? Well, no. If he shows up and hello, and it's like, next thing you get a table, that and a $50 bill. It's amazing.
What voice do you wish you could do, but you can't?
Yours. So she's got that going for her. Mm-hmm. No, gosh, I don't know. I never thought of that. Minnie Riperton. No, I don't know. I wish I wasn't sick when they auditioned for the original Simpsons. How about that? Because that's a pretty good gig. Yeah. You don't want to get sick. Sometimes it's funny, like if I get a cold or sore throat. I'm a little funky right now. Pooh's the first guy to go, because he lives right in between my regular voice and my falsetto. So whatever that means. Yeah, she's going. Yeah, you too, huh? Yeah. Let me hear your Pooh. That's scary. Wow.
Last question, and then I'll have you guys line up and you can ask the better questions. Do you ever do voices in the bedroom? Na, na, na,
Someone's been sitting outside the window. Nah. Too weird. Oh, bother. Ooh, that's like. No, there'll be none of that. No. Okay, maybe a little.
Yeah. Okay, do you guys want to line up? We'll have you ask.
Oh, man. Yeah. Hey, I know this dude.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's very cool to get to finally meet you, and because you're my big voice hero, and to have my little daughter here.
Yeah.
To get to meet you at the same time.
Just a little while ago.
It's been a very special day.
Hi.
Yeah, when you did the Evangeline, I thought my wife was going to cry. So it's just, like I said, special day.
Good.
Thank you very much for that. Not a lot of voice artists have a big range, and a lot of times you can tell who's doing the voice. You're not one of those guys. You've got an amazing range. Can you take the character that's at the far left and the character to the far right? Did I do the right hand? And And do them
Is this
back
a
to back.
political joke?
No, not at all, not at all. And can you do them back to back for us?
Like who? I don't know.
Who do you think is
I,
farthest
people
to the?
tell me that Pooh and Tigger are like that. I get, I think sometimes I'm so used to my own junk that I don't, although when I do TV commercials, I will say this, half the time I don't know it's me. They're like, boy, that's for me. Oh, crap, that was me. Because I do a lot of normal,
Coming to a theater near you.
and I've sold a lot of Wheaties and what else? The Big Bang Theory, stuff. I do actual, like, normal human stuff, too.
Yeah.
But gosh, I don't know. I've often joked that I'm Winnie the Pooh and the Anti-Pooh. Taz and Pooh probably can't be much farther apart, but
Oh, Taz like Pooh.
oh, Bala, please. I don't know. Yeah, I've like. Does everybody remember Bonkers D Bobcat? Yeah. Well, I used to do that, and I guess that qualifies as an answer because Bonkers would be all over the map, and he was crazy. Gee, Bonkers, please just give it a break, because so I guess that's pretty opposite.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for making our day. Appreciate it. I did. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
Hi there. I'm a big Darkwing Duck fan. I was wondering, has there ever been talks about a Darkwing Duck movie at all, or have you ever wanted to do that?
Yeah, every now and then. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I've always been nuts about Darkwing. Certain characters stick with me and everything. And he was similar to me anyway, like fake, boisterousness and bravado. And he and Don Carnage were some of my favorites. Mr. Bumpy and Ray. I better shut up because I'll leave someone out and they'll be sad. But they're all me anyway. But yeah, Darkwing for sure. Yeah, Tad Stones, the great Tad Stones. He's Darkwing's dad. I always say, he's the Disney animator, producer, writer, who was the father of Darkwing. Every now and then there's sort of a scare that they're going to bring him back, and kind of like the Dark Knight Returns. Batman was gone for a while. Then Frank Miller did the book, The Dark Knight Returns, and it's like, Batman was pretty cool, huh? Yeah, maybe we should. Now we're lousy with Batman all over, So I would love to be lousy with Darkwing again, because he is the terror that flaps in the night, I'm just saying, I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the bug that splatters across the windshield of crime. I am Darkwing Duck. And I'd love to say that again. So make a big stink, and maybe that'll do it. You guys probably would make it happen more than I. They don't listen to me.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm a huge fan of Hondo from the Clone Wars.
Oh, me too.
I was
nuts about that.
I was wondering how you and Dave ended up at that voice, and if you could answer as Hondo, that would be fantastic.
I'll get back to you when I feel like it. How's that?
No, he's Hondo's cool. He's my bad. Don't tell anyone. He's my bad Yul Brynner impression. Told ya. If you do a lousy impression, it's a new character.
Well. You know it is funny that you bring this up. But, okay, it's not funny per se.
But they just kind of send out the audition, and you kind of look at him, and you think, well, because he's not a good guy, but he's not really a bad guy. But you don't want to play cards with him. But he'd probably be fun to go hang out with, as long as you don't play cards with him. Or, and he just kind of, guided me along and said, well, a little more of this, a little more of that. And it's great because I'll tell you what I like about the Clone Wars is I wish I was in more of them. Because, I'm a fan, too, of all of this. But the good thing about that is so many, especially movies, forget it. You're never in the room with anybody else, any of the other actors, they're never there. But with the Clone Wars, Star Wars, they still have, as many as, people like some people live in New York or whatever, but, and I live in Southern California. But everybody's in the room with you. So you can interact, and you get that organic thing. And I think, I don't know, I like that. It shows, I think it feels better when people, You know, if you yell at somebody, because I said so, don't make me repeat. Okay. Now, you know, you're not going to get that, because without that explosion going at the other person, the other actor, they're going to go, okay, instead of, okay. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Very subtle, big difference. But yeah, so it's just a joy. And, you know, we just work on it. And what I really like, I guess I get hired for this, or not hired for this too, because I tend never to say what they write. But I don't try to take away from the story. Like I'll tell you, Ray, geez, for Princess and the Frog, I don't think there's one line in the movie they wrote. Really, and they kind of let you go like that. I mean, it was within the story though. I think that's the tricks. Mel Brooks has a line, funny is something, but wit is something that rhymes with wit. And which is his way of telling you, stick to the script. I didn't write that, say that. Well, I've never worked for him, but Rob Paulson told me that. And but sometimes I think people hire me knowing that I won't say what they wrote, because you know, like God, what's a good example? The Ray gets blown out of that guy's nostril, and it splattered on the thing, and his chip, and the line was, "Oh, that's gonna leave a mark." And I thought, "Oh man, how many times have you ever heard that before?" You know, it's like, "Oh man, I think I done chipped my favorite tooth." You know, because he only had 5, so you know he had a favorite. And so they kind of let me go with that, and Dave does that with Hondo. You know, there was this big argument with Obi-Wan Kenobi about how he wanted to get some money out of him at the end of the last thing, because no, I wasn't trying to hijack the ship. I was saving it for you, and he's trying to get money out of him. He goes, "So you're telling me that, you know, this is my bad, Obi-Wan, that you weren't trying to hijack the ship, Hondo? You were trying to save it? You're welcome!" You know, and the line was, "Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to do." But they went with, "You're welcome!" You know, like, so it's a lot of fun. And when they let you do that stuff, it's part collaboration, I guess, and part just shut up and let him Tourette. And if we don't like it, we can record it again. I usually give them what they wrote anyway, once. I hope that answers your question.
Totally, thank you.
You got it.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh and Tigger fan.
Oh,
And
you're actually kind of petite.
and I also realized that you are a voice character in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
That's a good feeling, because I am.
And
You're onto something.
who is that? And who are you in that show?
Pete, the, you know, if you stop and think about it, and you haven't, but now you're gonna, Pete is tied for first place as the oldest Disney character.
Huh.
He was in Steamboat Willie.
And I was wondering, what's it like working with Rusty
Sorry,
Taylor?
I'm kidding, go ahead.
What was it like working with Rusty Taylor?
Rusey,
Taylor, sorry.
she's a pumpkin.
She is so
We
sweet.
love Rusey. Yeah, she is Minnie Mouse. She's just a presh. I mean, she's as sweet as she could be. And, you know, one of my favorite things is you have this little Cupid doll voice coming up with this little Cupid doll face, and she cusses like a sailor. you know, and yeah, she's an old buddy. She's one of my oldest pals in the business, and she's just a doll, and God bless Wayne.
And
You know, her husband.
I was wondering if you could say hi to one of my friends in,
Sure.
in one of your voices, like Winnie the Pooh.
Well, what's the friend's name?
Mushan.
And what is your name?
Kylie.
Hi, Kylie?
Kylie, yeah.
Hello, Michonne. Kylie said that she doesn't want to talk to you anymore. You're welcome.
That's your cue, Kylie.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better than that, sorry.
Hi.
Hello.
First, I just have to say, I told my sister I would tell you thank you for terrifying her as a child. That's Rasputin from Anastasia.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody else knows that movie, but it is the greatest children's movie ever not made by Disney.
I think so. Good for you. Thanks. I
And
wasn't in it, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm saying
you're gonna terrify me that I'm gonna embarrass
no.
myself. My boyfriend is an up-and-coming voice actor, and I was wondering if you had any advice on one, sore throats and losing your voice, and how to prevent that, and really, what do you think is key in breaking into voice acting?
Oh gosh. Well, you know, it's I could tell you this. It's not voice acting. It's just acting. It's you know, people say, well, you do all these voices, you do all these voices. I think of them. I think it's just to be I'm a character actor, you know, and they just the characters just have a lot of different voices. You know, that's all it really kind of is. I mean.
And you don't have to do the nude scenes, which is nice.
Well, that's true. Yeah, although I recorded at home. Anyway, no, but it's true. You know, I guess you could concentrate on the voice to the extent that, like, if you're doing an impression, like Winnie the Pooh, and these guys were really impressions of guys that were there before me, so you want to sound exactly like them, but you have to be a decent actor too. You know, so I would tell them, you know, think in terms of being an actor first, and then layer the voice in over, you know, whatever it was, and gosh, you know, be a sponge. I think James Dean had a variation of this too, but excuse me, just be a sponge and listen. You know, well, like the Cajun stuff and everything. It's an example, and you know, rest her soul, my Aunt Grace and my Uncle Sam. They've been in a lot of cartoons, but they didn't know it. You know, like bless her heart, my aunt. She always sounded like this to me when I was a little kid. And, you know, and so now whenever they have like a thing for like a punch-drunk boxer, I'll tell you what, I was just what were we talking about? Well, that's Aunt Grace, bless her heart. And my Uncle Sam, he actually, this is another one of those leatherhead things. You know, he really did sound like this. He used to scare the hell out of me when I was a little kid. And he's been ogres and dragons and monsters, and my cousins think it's great. Hey, your dad's gonna be on the, you know, the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's gonna be ogre number 4. That's great, you know. So be a sponge, hold on to all of that, and, you know, just remember you're an actor first and then layer the voice in. Yeah.
And any advice on sore throats and losing your voice?
Oh, yeah. You know, you'd think differently, but I'm not a big yeller. You know, I don't want to, like when video games come up or something, I don't do a lot of them. I'd rather be the storyteller than, you know, the guy who falls. Okay, now you're falling from the cliff. Okay, now you're falling from a passing satellite. Okay, now you're falling from the sun. No! Let's get somebody else. Ah! You know, you don't want to abuse yourself. And I've never smoked, so I think that's a good thing. And gosh, I've cut down on crack immensely. What else? You know, no hard stuff. Anything that hurts, you know. And I don't know. You know, take your vitamins. Warm salt water, a little hydrogen peroxide in there. Gargle. I don't know. Maintenance, stuff, healthy stuff. Sure.
Hi.
Hey, buddy. Oh, there you go.
By the way, thanks for making me feel guilty about all my vices.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like
So I don't do that, and I don't do.
Hondo is my favorite character in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. What was your favorite part that you played as him as a bounty hunter?
Oh gosh, well, I liked the one where he and Ahsoka had a little thing going there, and what's cool about those shows is all the characters have a backstory, and they all kind of know each other from before. Like he was walking through, and there was one of the younglings or whatever were in there, and he was looking at him, and he had the impression that it might have been her son, and he said, not one of mine, I guess. You know, because he didn't look like, because apparently he and Ahsoka had a little thing. I'm just saying. But you know, those kind of things, I get. That episode, I don't know the name of it, but that was that one. That was a favorite of mine. I'm glad you like it, though. Okay. All right, buddy, thanks.
Hi there. About your time on Darkwing Duck, I'm sure you were busy enough voicing the main character, but as some of the other characters came about and you started voicing them as well, was that something that you volunteered for, or they approached you to create the voice?
No, I think that, at that point they just say, oh, let's get this one to Jim. Let's make him talk to himself and get in arguments with himself. He does it anyway. Like Darkwing, I am the terror. No, you're not. Duck and Darkwing, they, I guess it made sense, to be my own evil twin. Yeah, they just kind of assigned it to, you're doing this now. And then that kind of took off, so it was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you find when you switch your voice constantly back and forth in one recording session, this puts a bit of a strain on your voice?
Yeah, I mean, it could. When we did the Tasmania show and Bump in the Night, which is another one of my favorite shows, but I guess the politics at ABC. Disney was just buying ABC at the time, and they go, yeah, but we didn't think of this show, so we hate it. And it got bumped. Bump in the Night. Got bumped. It's crazy. But no, I don't know. I kind of want to do them on Friday afternoons, because you have the weekend because some you just get like Taz, you can't, there's no getting around it. Taz is not going to be doing any books on tape. Put it that way. Promise.
Hi, thanks for coming.
Hey, you're welcome.
As I understand it, in The Lion King, Jeremy Irons threw out his voice on Be Prepared, and you pinch hit for him on the last bit of it. And I was curious, since you've talked a bit about impressions and whatnot, what kind of preparation you did? Did you talk to Jeremy at all to try and figure out the voice? Or
No, man. Everybody, a lot of people just, well, not Disney, but a lot of people just think of me as a singer, and not anymore, but see, wow, this is a long one. I'll try to be brief. My buddy Jess Harnell, Yakko Warner, the great Jess Harnell, amazing, more talent than he should have. The producers knew us, and I guess Nathan Lane and Ernie Sabella, Timon and Pumbaa, they weren't singers per se or musicians per se, and they said, well, let's just get Jim and Jess in here. And the deal was to get us to record Hakuna Matata, and so they gave us the demo. Some guy, Elton, somebody was on it. anyway, we learned it, and then we went in there and recorded it. And the idea was that, they'll just send out the little cassettes or CDs to Nathan and Ernie, and let them drive around in a car for like 3-4 weeks and get it stuck in their head, so they don't have to sit there and go Hakuna Matata, because that would get old. So they better show up and kind of knowing it. So they were in there, and they had me and Jess, and he was Timon, and I was Pumbaa. Oh, and I wrote the fart verse. Thank you. And Hakuna Matata, because the original lyrics, Tim Rice. I mean, he's this really cool guy, great guy, real nice guy. But he's very British, you see, and they don't even say the word fart. They say breaking wind. Now that's a tough one to rhyme, but you can rhyme fart. And so Cummings is sitting there, and they're going, these words, I don't know. When I was a kid, it was rough. You had it easy, I had it hard. I go, man, I used to hate that. My dad, when I was your age, I had to go uphill both ways to school, and it was snowing, and I had to eat warm, gravel and all that stuff. Nobody wants to hear that. So, since this guy stinks, his big thing is that he's a warthog. Let's go back to that. So I did the what was the name? I thought of changing my name. How did it feel? And I got downhearted. Boom, boom, boom. Every time today, Pumbaa, not in front of the kids. Stop it. Hakuna Matata. Breaking it. Well, I made that up, and so they knew that we were singers and everything. And so I'm telling you two things. A, I didn't get credit. Thank you for writing the fart verse. That'd be some decent ducats right there. And B, they said, Jeremy did sing that, but I think we're all supposed to think he threw out his voice, because I read that on the internet too, so it has to be true. But no, he just, he was, see, Jeremy does smoke. And it was like, very proud, I know it's household and and he goes, and I said, so what's the deal? He goes, that's why you're here. So I ended up singing Be Prepared for Lion King. And if you're not listening, you got Jeremy does all the talking, but I mean, he never even said the words "be prepared." I was the one, "Be prepared." Then classic villain laugh at the end, and so yeah, that was that. And I was already in it. But what's weird is if you read the thing, it says performance by Cheech Marin, Whoopi Goldberg, Jeremy Irons, and Jim Cummings. Well, Ed's character, because I was actually Ed in The Lion King, but he's silent, and I'm going, why did they include me? Because I sang it. That's why. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah. So you did all the choruses on that one too?
Verse, chorus, and evil villain laugh goodbye.
Okay. Thanks.
I feel like they're giving us the sudden death. We've got 5 minutes.
Oh.
So this might be
All right. Well, I'll
Yes.
try to keep this fairly short.
1 minute. 1 minute now. One
All right.
minute.
Short jokes. Go on. No.
So I thought I had a really clever one, which seems to be an amalgamation of 6 that have come before me. But I always knew you were bonkers, and then later learned that you were also lucky, and always wondered if you had how much you went off the rails doing bonkers and lucky, because there was so much of them just crazy arguing with each other, and how much you like to ad lib and how much you're doing both voices there. Just seems like they might have had to haul you back a time or two.
No. I made up a trick doing that because the interplay. The problem is you can't overlap in animation. Like when someone's talking, one character's talking, the other character can't talk because they're hearing the animated. A lot of people think you're ad-libbing to or looping to a screen, but that's not the case. So because the animators are animating this character, and if there's somebody else is talking, they're going, wait. So it throws them. So that's actually a cool question. I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but it's what I would do is, bonkers was, but like, you don't, I know, but you could, well, I would be saying, we'd be recording bonkers, and in my head, Lucky was yelling back at him. So, because you don't understand, I know that, but will you just shut up for 1 minute, bonkers? And I would hear the other guy in my head, and then they would record bonkers, and then they would play bonkers back in my headphones, and then I would spit out the Lucky parts, because I already had it timed out in my head. So I guess I saved them money, but they didn't give me a raise. Yeah, so that's how that worked. And that interplay was in our head, my head. That's a good question, though.
Okay, I got the.
Is this the last one here, or was that the last one?
Can we take? That was it.
That was it.
Oh, look.
We're losing the room.
The only reason why I'm saying it to him is because I want you to know that he's the bad guy, not me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because we
I
would
think
sit
Red
here
was
all
amazing.
day.
Wasn't she amazing?
Oh,
Let's hear it.
no. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Have a great time today.